Let's make sure this is actually recording. Hello. So last night, my therapist was asking me, like, how are you doing? I started by saying I'm doing well. And from there, I was like, okay, so this is my topic. And, I just kind of went into the next thing that I wanted to talk about in our session. Because, those 50 minutes, they'd be going fast. And so I'm like, let's get into it real quick. But she forced me to pause because she's like, Yvette, it's been a while since you've been able to say you are doing well. So let's just sit with that for a moment. There are a couple different things that I wanted to spend our session talking about last night. I was sharing with her how I had been reading through old journal entries, and I realized that there was a season in which I had suicidal ideation. And during that season, I remember that season, and I remember it kind of being like a joke. Like in passing, I'd say, if the car tipped over, the Lord's calling you home, whatever. I would just kind of make different jokes about it. But when I was reading through my journal, I realized, oh shoot, I was not well. I was not doing well. And I was sharing that with Glen also, and he asked me, he's like, hey, what has changed from then to now? And so that was one of the questions that I wanted to walk through or talk through with my therapist. And we started to investigate and talk through it and whatever. And then she was like, it's like you found your voice. And it resonated, and then it didn't. It was one of those things where it's like, yes, and then maybe not, I don't know. And so I was sitting with that, and I was thinking about how I show up in this space. It felt like it's tone deaf to share what's happening in my life that isn't necessarily depressing, that's actually full of joy and I'm excited about. And so I haven't posted. And so I feel like last night when she said that, I was like, yeah, actually I have found my voice. I don't want to be timid about it because I'm not as educated or well-spoken or whatever the case may be. Insert excuse. I don't say nothing. I'm beginning to realize that, shoot, I do have something to offer. I guess this is my hard launch. This is my, I'm back. I'm just kidding. Not that I went anywhere, but I want to be more intentional about how I show up in this space. And sometimes that may look like me talking directly to the camera and saying something that's on my heart that's not fully processed, but maybe I'm processing out loud, and maybe you can relate, and maybe in some way or form it helps you to feel seen. Maybe it's just me showing you guys that life does go on. Some of us are grieving. Some of us are mourning the state of the world. And some of us are grieving and mourning the state of our own personal lives in our own personal bubbles, right? There's a lot of grief happening. And maybe you're not experiencing that. Maybe it's the complete opposite for you. And that is a blessing. Sit in that. Remain in that. But one thing about grief is it doesn't matter. The world doesn't stop for you to grieve. The world doesn't stop for you to experience your emotions and sit in your emotions. There's still bills that have to be paid. There's still a job that needs to be shown up for. There's still children that need to be nurtured and cared for. There's still a spouse that needs to be loved, and we have to partner through this thing called life. And so and with that, I'm like, okay, yeah, it doesn't stop. And so maybe it's helpful to share how I'm navigating life in the midst of it all. And so here I am. If you've made it this far in the video, this is my, let's call it a PSA of sorts, that I'm going to start showing up in this space, and I'm not going to be concerned about whatever has been concerning me, whatever has been preventing me from posting on this platform. Whatever has gotten in the way of me showing up in this space, I'm not going to allow those things to keep me from showing up. Yeah. So here I am. Here we go. Just keep on keeping on, y'all. We got this. And I'm excited to be back with y'all and sharing in my own way and really like claiming my voice and allowing it to hopefully not be noise. Hopefully not be noise. Love y'all. Again, keep on keeping on. Bye. I don't know what I'm doing.